Hello and welcome to the Property Unleashed YouTube channel. My name's Mark Fitzgerald and it's fantastic to have you joining me here today. So today I am going to cover my 5 hacks when talking to letting agents. So let's move on straight away here. And at number 1, it is go in with a purpose. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is go in there after doing some research. Find out and have a look on their websites, have a look in the window, see if you can find a property, any sort of property that resembles what it is you're looking for. So it's very easy to explain to the letting agents and the people that you're talking to exactly what it is you want. Okay, you want to go in there, you want to say, who's best to speak to about such and such a property that I've seen on a website. It might be a 5-bed HMO where maybe there's no tenants in it whatsoever, and you want to talk about that empty property. Then it builds up the rapport. They'll point you in the right direction when you go through the door or when you're on the phone and you're speaking to the person you need to be speaking to see if there are potential deals that you can use and take on in your rent-to-rent business. How you actually take these on and use these responses, I'll talk to you about as we go through the rest of the hacks. But make sure you go in with a purpose. Don't go in there just try and sell yourself or anything like that. Go in there with a purpose. Number 2, get to know the agent. So make sure you know on a spreadsheet or however you like to record things, what agency you've gone into, what is the name of the person or who is the person that you've spoken to. Make sure you've got those details, but also make notes on what drives that person. Get to know them. Are they money orientated? If you pay them a finder's fee or you give them a percentage of the deal or however you want to structure it, would that be what motivates them to help you find a property and to help you build up your property portfolio in rent to rent? So really get to know them. What drives them? Are they happy in their job? Are they not so happy in their job? And just remember that some days people aren't going to be happy. Some days people are going to be miserable. We all are. Some people hate their job. I did when I worked in the corporate world. I hated my job. So if you'd come and see me on a day where I'm just having a bit of a downer, I wouldn't have been at my best. So don't take everybody at face value from the word go. If you go in and see people a few times and they're just miserable all the time, well, maybe they're just a miserable person. So just try and go in there and make them smile. But build up that rapport, get to know them, see what drives them. And while you're chatting to them, just basically listen to what they have to say. Because if they think they know everything and they're the guys or girls that can sell you anything, let them believe they can. Don't try and talk them out of it. Let them talk to you. Build up rapport, but keep notes on the people that you're talking to so that when you go in there, if you're speaking to Andrea one day or John the next day, you've got an idea of what you've said before. And if you can go in there and almost say to them, oh, I remember when you said that last time, or I remember when you talked about this last time, they're going to know that you're paying attention and it's bigging them up. It's going to make them feel confident. It's going to make them feel good about themselves. And when you do that, they're going to be more likely to want to come and work with you. Okay? Which leads us on to number 3, which is very, very similar as well. Remember, agents are just people like us. So they're just everyday people. They have a good day. They have a bad day. They have things going on in their world and in their lives other than the job that's at hand. They're not particularly educated in all the different strategies that we are, because this is what we're doing. We're trying to make businesses out of this. We're trying to be professionals out of this. They're trying to be letting agent professionals or estate agents, and they've got their own qualifications and their own profession in what they're doing. So just be mindful of the fact that when you start using terms that maybe in the property world you expect everybody to know and you think, well, these are even simple, everybody should know this, they probably won't. They're just normal people every day going about their business, doing their job. Some of them will love their work, some of them won't, as I said before. And at the end of the day, don't let that put you off. Take people for what they are, but look to work with them. Look to sell yourself to them as well. Make sure that you're building up a rapport that really puts you across so that somebody wants to work with you. Somebody wants to make sure you're the go-to person if they find this property. At the end of the day, most agents are on commission or they're on some sort of bonus scheme. That means if they've filled their properties, if they've sold properties, they're getting commissions, they're getting more money. In turn, that may be the driving force behind some of these people. So make sure that when you're talking to them, You're talking to them in their language, you're reassuring them that you're not here to take any money out of their pocket. If anything you're there to make it an easy life, and you're there to make sure that everybody wins in the situation, and they get their money, they get their commission, and they get a pat on the back from their bosses, which keeps them happy. Number 4, don't sell to them. You're not talking to any letting agent, estate agent, or anybody like that and trying to sell to them. They are the salespeople. They want to sell to you. If you go in trying to sell to them, they'll just think, oh, it's another one of those guys that thinks they know everything and can bring it to me where I'm the professional. Remember, these guys and girls are professionals in the trade that they do. So don't walk in there and try and sell yourself or your services, particularly from the word go. Remember, it's all about building up rapport. It's all about getting to know them. It's all about making sure that you're all on the same page. You wouldn't maybe have a new friend at the end of the day. If I first met you and you said to me, I've got a deal and I did it here and I can do this and I can look after your properties, I'd be like, great stuff. Now, if we hit it off and there's a bit of rapport there, I might want to see you again. I might want to talk to you about it later on down the line. But if you throw everything at me at once and I don't particularly gel with you, particularly on that first, on that first time I meet you, on those first impressions, then all of a sudden I'm going to be switched off pretty much every time I see you. I will not want to work with you. I'll have thought, there's that pushy person who threw everything at me and says that they can do all of this and do all of that. Well, who cares what they can do? At the end of the day, I want to work with people I can trust. And the know, like, and trust thing is massive. So you need to make sure that you're doing that. You need to make sure that they trust you, and it takes a bit of time. As you can say, when you're trying to court anybody, when you're trying to go on a date, you don't try and do everything on the first date. You might just try and go out and have a meal, watch a movie, build up rapport, have a laugh, get to know each other. Now, if you're lucky in some aspects, you may get lucky on the first date, but I wouldn't go out there trying to think that you are going to get lucky on the first date. You want to have a few dates. You want to get to know that person. You want to make sure that there's a right connection and gelling between all parties, if you know what I mean. So it's a funny acronym, but it is also very, very true when it comes to business as well. You got to get to know people, and you can't just go in there saying, oh, I've got rent to rent deals, or I've got tenants, or I've got clients that I need to find properties for. At the end of the day, you need to be going in there. You need to be talking about properties. You need to be telling them, yeah. Well, what I can do is I have some tenants that I need properties for, and I tend to manage my tenants and look after them as well. So I would, in theory, look after the whole property and be the person that you go to if there's ever an issue or anything. You want to start selling yourself like that, not just going in there saying, I want to manage properties. I want how many properties you got. I want 10 properties this year, so you need to work with me. Build a rapport, get to know them, and basically that will pay off in the long run. But it does take a bit of time. So just again, with the time thing, be mindful of the fact that it will take a bit of time, but it's worth it in the long run. 6 months of maybe working with somebody, maybe looking at properties and it not working, could all of a sudden start snowballing into the fact that they start getting the right properties. And all of a sudden you've got 1, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't even have to start marketing out of your own pocket anymore, because, this letting agent's bringing you all of your leads, and it can happen, but you've got to work on the relationships and you've got to make sure you put the time in for it. And number 5, and this is one of the most important things that was always told and shown to me when I was starting out in property, and that is follow up. The money is in the follow-up, and it completely and utterly is. But don't think of it as pestering people. Don't think of it as being salesy or anything like that. Think of it as, at the end of the day, this is business. And in business, companies and people, they need to make money. If we don't make money in business, we haven't got a business. So you need to follow up with people. So if a letting agent says to you they've got a deal, or they've got a potential property for you to come and have a little look at, follow up with them. Once you've seen that property, if it's not quite right for you, follow up with whoever set it up for you. If they were there with you in the viewing, then obviously you can talk about it then. But what you will find is sometimes you'll go and do a viewing and you'll deal with a different person at the end of it. Get back to them. Build up, again, it helps to build up that rapport. Say to them, everything pretty much perfect, big it up. pretty much perfect. It's just this and this. It's not quite working for me. But no, thank you very much for, finding me that property. Or if there is one and you're saying, put my proposal to the landlord and you haven't heard anything within 24 hours, follow up with them. They're used to that. They're used to people following up with them. But do it in a good, kind, generous manner and just say, have you put the proposal across? Has the landlord got back? We put the proposal across. We're still waiting for the landlord. Well, can you just give them a nudge, obviously? I mean, one of the good things to say is, can you just give them a bit of a nudge? Because obviously we've got a few other properties that we're looking at, but we really like that property. We really want to work with that landlord. So we'd rather he or she came back to us first, because obviously if these other guys do and we're not sure about whether we're going to have a deal with you, then maybe we'll have to go with the other guys, and I'd hate to miss out like that. So if you could just give them a friendly nudge for me, that would be perfect. And feel free to follow up, but just do it in a nice, calm, controlled manner. They're used to it. As long as you're not nasty to anybody or you're not too forthright with anybody, then follow-up's fine. This is business. And if somebody gets funny about it, just point it out. It's nothing personal here. I'm not having a go. I'm just asking you if you can do this because it's business. At the end of the day, I'm trying to manage and run my business. So are you. And everybody's busy. Landlords are busy when it's not foremost and forefront of their mind. They're busy. They're busy people. We're all busy in the everyday life. But sometimes that little nudge, that little follow-up can be exactly what they want. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I meant to bring you and you've just reminded me. Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Right. Yes, this is what the answer is. This is what it is. Never be afraid to follow up. In business, in property, in life, follow up with people. At the end of the day, we all get busy. We all forget to do things. So if you take the initiative and you follow up, you'll be a cut above the rest. So I hope that's helped you with my 5 hacks for working with and dealing with letting agents, and how much I do enjoy that side of the business. I do like to get out there. I do like to talk to people. So enjoy it. Build up a rapport and make sure it's what you want it to be. So if you use 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 of the steps that I've said to you today, then I hope they bring you success on your property journey. If you've got great value from this, please check the links below, as I do have some free marketing letters, some deal analyzing sheets, and also my viewings guide, which you can download. It's all free. It's a gift from me to you guys to help you out on your property journey. So if anything there is good for you and can help you, get on the links and download it now. My name's Mark Fitzgerald, and it's been a pleasure to have you here today and spend a bit of time with you. I'll see you in the next video. You'll take care now. Bye for now.